is it still your position that you did not make these 32 phone calls? Well, obviously, because we're contesting it, right? Okay, so you understand that the victim in this case has a protective order against you, right?
Yes,
do you
ma'am.
admit to doing? Do you admit to cutting her when you came into her house?
No.
So what do you admit to?
No, I'm saying I admit to the phone calls. I mean, that case was actually thrown out.
Right.
We are about to watch the parole hearing of a man out of the state of Connecticut who is serving a 6-year sentence for many different crimes, but one that sticks out is his continued violation of his restraining order. He also would do things like reach out to the DA, and he picked up new charges while being locked up. It's a 6-year sentence. I think that this brings a special magnifying glass to this case after what happened in the state of Illinois. Let's jump in and watch it. I'll unpack it.
This is a hearing of the Connecticut Board of Pardons and Paroles. The following board members are present this afternoon and by stating their names on the record to certify that they have reviewed all statutorily required documents and available pertinent information in preparation of this hearing.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Jennifer Zaccanini. Good afternoon. I'm Councilmember Page.
Deborah Smith Palmieri.
Thank you, board members. Sir, please state your name and inmate number for the record.
Yes, ma'am. It's Junior Jump 345844.
Thank you, Mr. Jump. And again, I appreciate your patience with us today. So thank you very much for that. This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Mr. Junior Jump, inmate number 345844. He's serving a total effective sentence of 10 years, suspended after 6. This is followed by 5 years probation. And this for 2 counts of tampering with physical evidence, forgery 2nd degree, burglary 3rd degree, assault 3rd degree, violation of protective order, interfering with officer, harassment 2nd degree, and lastly, engaging police in pursuit. As of today, records reflect the parole eligibility date of October 15, 2023. This is at 50% eligibility. There is no victimhood in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for this offender. It has been reviewed and shows that the offender has completed the facility-based domestic violence program. It remains on the Department of Correctional waiting list for 5 or 7 day job assignment and vocational needs to be assessed. This is according to the RT3M query I ran today. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk system evaluation system, the offender's overall score on the SRT falls within the high range of risk for recidivism. Mr. John, this is now your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Yes, since I have been in, I have completed all the program that they have set for me to do. I do have some goals. If I were to be granted parole and work and stuff set up for me out there in the community. And the offense itself, I don't know if y'all want to go talk about the DRs or whatever. I had sent in a whole bunch of a stack of documents also that I wanted to be reviewed. I don't know if y'all.
We sure did. You got it.
Oh, you do? Yeah.
Yeah.
We do.
Do you want us to just ask you questions then?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Mr. Jump, thank you for your statement. We'll begin our questions with Ms. Page.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. So, Mr. Jump, we did receive your lengthy 100 and some odd page.
I did also send some DRs.
Yep.
And the appeal with the DRs is
Yeah, so that
I try to have the counselor send the appeal to Miss Ballard.
yeah.
I try to have the counselor send the update on those this morning, but he didn't have the time to do it because he left early or whatever. But yeah.
Well, unfortunately, we're not here. We're not a court of law, and we're not judges to determine you're innocent or guilt.
Yeah.
We understand that you are contesting several things. We also received information that you're applying for sentence fraud, and that you also asked for modification based on illegal sentence. So we saw all of those things.
Yeah, I do have.
That's not our job. That's not our job. So our job is suitability. And is it still your position that, you did not make these 32 phone calls? Well, obviously, because you're contesting it, right? You said that you were in confinement at the time in restrictive housing, and that you didn't even have phone privileges, right?
Say it again, I didn't hear you.
You were in restricted housing for the 32 times that you got. Yeah, for the violation of the protective order, where you
Yes.
contacted the victim 32 times from prison.
Yes,
That's what you're contesting, right?
yes.
Okay. So I'm not really sure what they're ready for us to talk about. You did complete the program as requested, but one of the things that stood out for me in the evaluation from the program participation, it was an overall good evaluation. But you received, in terms of responsibility, it says that you were marked as fair. Why do you think that?
Now I'm trying to find it right now. Which one you talking about?
For domestic violence.
Yeah. Talking about the participation, completing.
Not the completed form, for the evaluation. For the most part, it's a good evaluation, but for where it says responsibility, the very last box, I think, the box before the last one, it says fair.
Yeah,
Tell us why.
why it says, I didn't put that there, they did.
I know, but why would they mark you fair?
I mean, I
If
can't.
you got excellent, excellent for attendance, good on, your homework assignments and all of that stuff, why would they give you a fair, which is considered, fairly low, in my opinion?
I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying now. So the reason why, I think the reason why, because I mean, I said before, I mean, none of these phone conversations was like any threats or nothing like that. So I mean, it was just like regular conversations.
Okay, so you understand that the victim in this case has a protective order against you, right?
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
admit to cutting her when you came into her house?
No.
So what do you admit to?
No, I'm saying I admit to the phone calls. I mean, that case was actually thrown out.
Right.
Because of GPS or whatever, yeah.
Not because of a GPS, but because I think you have so many cases. First of all, it's easy to be confused. But what we're talking about here is you have a violation of the protective orders where you contacted the victim using someone else's pen 32 times. You admit to doing that? Because I thought okay.
Yes.
All right. So but you do not admit to the actions that led to your receiving this violation of the protective order.
No, ma'am.
Why does she have a protective order against you then?
I mean, it was for that case, but that case was eventually nollied.
The burglary 3? Which case are you referring to?
It is the burglary 3.
Burglary 3. It was not nollied.
No, the assault was nollied. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, no. There's an assault 3rd.
Yeah, there's an assault 3rd too.
Yeah, the assault 3rd, but not what you just said just now about the cutting. Nah.
Well, the nature of the offense doesn't go away just because the charges were nollied. It says that you stabbed the victim, you cut the victim with scissors. You showed up unannounced at her house and beat her up.
Yes.
You agree that you did that?
Yeah, I mean, I took full responsibility for it, yes.
What does that mean?
Like, I mean, it never actually went down like how they say that went down, but I mean, I do take full responsibility for the action that I did.
What did you do?
Pushed her and stuff like that, yes.
Oh.
So you didn't beat her up, you didn't punch her?
No, I wasn't, no.
And you didn't cut her with scissors?
Nope.
So how'd she get the laceration on her arm?
She cut herself. And they have
She
the
cut
doc.
herself and called the police?
Yes,
Wow,
but I did push her though.
okay.
I mean,
How
they
many
had
How many times have you done the domestic violence class course?
just once.
Okay. Because I see, some stuff in your history, like, I see a breach of peace, a threatening second in 2011.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering if those were domestic related as well, intimate partner.
No, I mean, that case right there, the threatening, that was between me and my uncle.
So do you think you have an anger problem?
I mean, sometimes, I guess.
And so how do you handle your anger now?
You say, how do I handle my anger now?
Yeah. Can you hear me clearly?
You going in and out a little bit.
Maybe it's a poor connection.
Yeah, but you say, how do I handle my anger now?
Yes.
By making better choices and walk away, stuff that I learned from the DV classes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever participate in an anger management class?
On the outside, Willow Clinic, yes. That was part
How
of
many
it.
times?
Like, just once for that old case when I was on probation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Jump, I have to be honest with you and say, you received 10, if my math is right, disciplinary infractions. All of them imply that there was some kind of threat or violence. And your convictions, that's the reason that you're here now, those offenses, in my opinion, are considered also violent. And I'm happy to see that you completed the domestic violence program, but based on our conversation, I think that you are going through the motion. Like, do you really think that you can avoid this stuff when you're released out into the community? Do you think you won't be back?
I don't think I will be back. I mean, as I said, I have a goal and I have made steps to rehabilitate myself and know how to handle stuff differently. I mean, while I was out, before I came back in when I got sentenced, I mean, I had 3 jobs, I had stuff that I was doing. And that's part of the
job. I saw that the last job that you had was at FedEx, where you would work 7 months. No?
Yeah, I had 3 jobs.
What other jobs?
I was working at Cross Country, KFC, and FedEx. That's
Okay.
all in the
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
second
it's in
stuff that I send. And
it's in the report that the officer prepared as well. I just didn't write it down.
yeah, and it's in the stuff that Judge Pelusi has, February 13. Kind of a breakdown of everything.
Yeah. Mr. Jim, I just hope that you're successful in your future endeavors, and it really sounds like you're trying to get rid of all of the convictions that you've received. And I really do hope that you are successful at that, because based on the information that we have here and the fact that you haven't been very successful on prior community releases.
I never been out on community release before.
You never been on probation?
Probation, yeah, but not like
That says community
That's
relations.
a community, that's a release, a supervised release in the community.
yeah.
I think you still have some work to do, sir. So, I do appreciate your speaking with me, and I'm going to turn it back over to
Thank you.
you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so other than the domestic violence program, have you done any other programming, sir?
No, I mean I had signed up for other stuff, but I haven't been able to get on there. But the DV was the only thing that was on my OAP, but I have.
Well, I
signed up
understand,
for-
but you could still volunteer for other
No,
programs.
I did,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did, but I never been. I was in Osborne, and they moved me here.
Yeah,
So it's like I've been, and they've told me here that they have a long list. So I
okay,
haven't been able to. I had signed up for the good choice by intentions, whatever, and I never
good
got.
intentions, bad choices, yep,
Yeah, I never got into it because
okay.
I said I was moved. That's some of the documents that's in here too. Other stuff that I had.
Well, yeah, we read that, but I mean, I was just asking you today. We're talking about
Yeah,
today,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And I'm
Yep.
just trying to see if you have any additional information to offer.
Yes.
Okay, and what about work? Are you working now?
No, I just
Okay.
moved to the pod that I'm in right now.
Okay, so
I'm
how
on
do you
the
spend
wait-
your time? What do you do all day?
Read. I mean, I try to do a lot of legal stuff. I help
Right.
other people do legal stuff. I mean, that's how I do my time. For now, I mean, I'm on a waiting list, but you have
Yeah.
people. This is a prison. You have people that's doing 100 years. I've been on the list, and people that have been on the list months ago. So
Yeah, we know, we understand how it works, yeah.
yeah. So
Um,
the council
we-
just told me that I'm on the list. I just gotta wait.
yeah, okay. So I did read about your pending sentence modification, and what are you asking for in that sentence mod?
Probation.
Oh,
To be
okay,
removed. I'm trying to get some of the probation time removed. I mean, the
right.
sentence itself, I believe that is kind of like excessive. But again, that's what
The probation part of it, you're not asking, are you asking to reduce the 6 years too?
no, probation.
Just the
Some of the-
probation,
Like half of it, like 2.5, 3 years probation off of the 5.
okay. And tell me why 5 years probation is too long for you?
I never said it was too long for me. I'm just saying like the sentence itself
Okay,
for the alleged,
oh, there's
The
a lot of
crime.
convictions here, yeah,
yeah, but
Okay.
I only have I'm only got like 2 convictions I got probation on.
yeah,
The one count of violation of protective order phone call, and the other one for the tampering with evidence forgery second.
yeah.
All the other ones is like time served and all of that. I mean,
Yeah,
I have done assess like a lot of time with these cases already.
yeah, but you know, that's sometimes part of the deal. You get time served on some and then they add time to another. I mean,
Yeah, I
and why,
understand that.
let me ask you a question. Why
Yes.
would you send letters to the assistant state's attorney?
It was foolish at the time. I mean, it was.
What
foolish
were
at
you
the
hoping
time.
to gain?
No, I was kind of like upset about what they was doing. in
So you
court.
reacted to your anger. You let your anger get the best of you?
I wouldn't say let the anger get the best of me. I mean, I didn't write anything really bad. It wasn't threatening or nothing like that. It just was like,
Well,
but
say when you use their home address, why didn't you send it to her office? That's
No.
threatening in and of itself.
no, it wasn't. I had the home address, but it wasn't. I never sent it to the home address.
Well, how did they know you had the home address?
But when they did a cell shakedown,
Okay.
I had FOI that individual with the state's attorney chief state's attorney office FOI the personal records.
Yeah. Wow.
That information was in there and they took it from me.
Why would you need that information?
Yeah, right. I mean, what are you looking up for home address for?
No, I was looking at it to see if she ever been suspended before. I asked for the personal file, if any disciplinary,
Oh, okay.
see if she have a history of doing stuff before. That's what I was looking for, but that information was in there. So when they shaped my
Well,
cell down
yeah,
and
well,
they found,
I mean, you got a conviction, a harassment conviction, so they saw it a little differently.
yeah, because of that situation, yes, ma'am, I do. Yeah,
Unfortunate.
I mean, this is 2018. I mean, it's years ago. But
Well,
I
I mean,
understand
you
what
know, the behavior has continued over the years, so, you know, it's kind of all, it's all run into each other, basically. You know, when was your last conviction? 23, but the offense was actually in what, 19?
Yeah.
So they
No.
all go back, right?
2018.
19?
2018.
Well, you have the tampering and the
Yeah.
forgery is 2019.
19, yeah, is your last conviction,
Yeah,
or your last
Yeah,
offense.
offense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, so it's not unreasonable for us to talk about 18, 19, because that's your most recent offenses. You've been incarcerated.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I certainly hope that you've turned a corner, and, you know, it seemed to me like you made a bad situation worse.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree with that too.
All right, Ms. Palmieri.
I have no questions. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right, give us some time to discuss your case. You can listen to our deliberation, and we're going to give you our decision shortly. Ms. Page.
You want me
You
to
know, you
leave?
can listen. No, you can listen.
Thank you. So, it's obvious that Mr. Jump is a very intelligent young man. I just wish that he would utilize all those skills that he has.
Yeah.
Out in the community doing positive things and helping others. Unfortunately, I really see very little evidence of change in Mr. Jump based on his convictions up to his last disciplinary infraction in February of this year with the same behaviors threatening. I'm glad to see that he's participated in the programs, and I really do hope that he's successful with his probation. But my vote would be to deny him today based on his 10 tickets to court of institutional adjustment. His criminal history is very concerning and lengthy, and inadequate evidence of offender change. And I do not have him returning.
Thank you, Ms. Palmieri.
I would agree with panel member Page. I would
Yeah.
not be able to vote in favor of his today for
Okay.
those same reasons.
Yeah. Yeah. It's unfortunate, as you said, he is a smart man, but hopefully when he gets out, he can use that intelligence for good stuff. All right, in the matter of Junior Jump, inmate number 345844, I'll make a motion to deny parole for the following reasons. Your criminal history, your poor institutional adjustment, the tickets, and inadequate evidence of offender change. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do you have questions, sir? You understand? Well, unfortunately, we couldn't grant you parole today, sir.
No, I understand.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, this concludes the parole hearing for Mr. Junior Jump, 345844. Thank you. Best of luck to you, Mr. Jump. Would you have the seal send in the next gentleman?
All right.
Thank you.
You know, especially after seeing the case in Illinois, this kind of thing scares me. And you know, you might have your own opinion, your own takeaway, but it feels to me like he's been sitting here and brewing in it, and like almost a buildup of anger. There's a lot that I've seen that I'll go over, but here's a charge that I'll go through that shows that he was charged with evidence tampering. He also has another accusation or charge where he faked a COVID test, and they caught him on that, which is quite interesting. It might be saying something that they would go and look at that, because he had to show up to court and he faked his COVID test result to not make it there. There's also something that this man does when they asked him, so what do you do with your time? And he said, oh, read. And he has filed, Richard put in the section, he used up all the rows in the spreadsheet and had to go on a second row. I can't even count. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, something like 23 different court filings, motions, appeals. So, you can look at that how you want. You might say, like the board said, well, he's smart if he can maybe focus his energy somewhere else. But still the idea that he's trying to get out of what is clearly, he's going to say, oh, no, she stabbed herself. And it's like, come on, man. Oh, those phone calls. Yeah, those never happened. And it's those type of things that are scary. You're sitting in there, in my opinion, scary, brooding in all the injustices happening to you, when you just take a step back and look at it like you broke into her apartment. You stabbed her with scissors. You're locked up because of that. Then you called her 23 times. And it's like, from while you have the restraining, like, what do you think's going to happen when he gets out? And all of this being said and done, it seems to me like the warning signs are flashing. Everything is beeping. This is scary. Watch out. And he's going to get out no matter what in 3 years anyways. And you think a piece of paper restraining order is going to do anything? You could see that the DA cured when all of a sudden they found out that he had her address. The assistant DA all of a sudden cared. That was brought up. But when it's his victim's address, what's the big deal? Here's a restraining order. Those charges were nullied. I think it brings some interesting contrast when things like that happen, right? He has the assistant DA's address, but when he stabs her with the scissor, breaks into her home, those charges are nullied. What's the big deal? But so here's one thing that we can talk about. So Hartford inmate charged with evidence tampering. A prison inmate was arrested and charged with altering prison records to reduce false evidence to use it in a criminal case where he was charged with making harassing phone calls from behind bars. He was arrested Tuesday by inspectors, statewide prosecutor bureau of the Office of Chiefs of Attorneys, and warned charging with tampering, fabricating physical evidence, of forgery in the second degree. Isn't it interesting that this is where they get him on? According to the arrest warrant affidavit, Jump altered documents he obtained from the Department of Corrections while in custody in an attempt to show that he could not have made harassing phone calls where he is charged in making while in the DOC custody. It wasn't interesting also he's pretending he couldn't hear them on the phone, and they're like, do we have a connection problem? Jump 38, a former resident of Hartford, submitted and altered documents, evidence of recent criminal trial in New Britain court, multiple counts of violation of a protective order, allegedly making calls to a person whom was prohibited in contacting under the protective order. Jump was arraigned in late charges where the court was bound to set $500. In this case, continued until June 25th. Fabricating physical evidence, second-degree felony, 5 years prison each count. And then let's see, there's another one. Here's the COVID testing thing. This is in 2021. Hartford man charged with faking positive COVID tests. Interesting that this makes the paper, right? It makes you wonder, I wonder who leaked the information for this to even make a headline. All the stuff we see that doesn't make headlines, but this does. Connecticut, Hartford man was charged with illegally fabricating positive COVID tests to avoid appearing in court. Jump 31 was arrested Tuesday, charged with one count of forgery in the second degree. According to the arrest, it just shows when the DA, if you mess with the ADAs or the DA office, don't mess with them, right? They'll do what they need to do to protect themselves or to send a message or to win an ego war. But when it comes to just protecting a regular, constituency or a child, we see that they don't really care for the most part. According to the arrest warrant, Jump was out on bond following his arrest in connection with a number of criminal cases. And he was on, it was only $500 bond, right? On November 16th, Hartford police arrested him on a warrant charging him with threatening the second degree and breach of peace in the second degree. South Windsor police arrested him on a warrant charging him with interfering with an officer and breach of the peace. On November 29th, Jump's defense counsel told the state attorney he received a screenshot from Jump appearing to be positive COVID-19 test notification. The judge excused Jump from appearing the following day. According to the state's Division of Criminal Justice, investigator revealed notification was forged and allegedly fabricated. How do you prove that it was forged? Jump is being held on $25,000 bond. He currently has 11 pending cases, Superior Court. Isn't that interesting? Again, I'm just pointing out, it's like they really wanted him, so they went and got him there. They said, no, it's not going to be. And this isn't his only case. He has so many cases. Another one I'm reading where he has a convicted felon with extensive firearm history. He's arrested Monday and charged with threatening people with a gun. This is a 2014 case Richard shared. I'm not screen sharing it because they share an address, so I can't screen share it. But they tracked him down after a young woman and her family told police that they threatened him with a gun. This really feels like the classic Illinois situation. And he has a perfect excuse, of course, for having the assistant DA's address, right? They need to do a better job protecting assistant DAs. So they could just give an address, home address, to someone who's being, to anyone. Is that how it works? Or did he make that up? Because I don't believe much of what he says. Well, he did have a good excuse for what he said, though. Makes sense. Why he had he just got papers. He never sent her a letter. He was just doing research to see if she had anything on her. Which just goes to show, again, he might genuinely think that the world is out to get him, and versus just taking accountability, versus saying that he's the one with the problems, versus saying, like, maybe I should change. And one last thing, which is almost funny, I feel like the board's like, didn't you take anger management programs? It's like, yeah, I took one. They're like, and you learned nothing. And I can't get over that. It's like they're drunk on their own Kool-Aid. It's like I wonder, it seems to me like they actually believe if you take a program that you're just going to be healed. And it's so insane. Like, even the most devoted person, that's just the way human nature is, wants to change something about themselves. It's constant work. You don't just take a program. It's something that you will do probably for your whole life, constantly working, taking programs, reading classes, trying to figure out what's causing those character flaws, if you want to call it that. And it's an ever evolving process. Here it's like, oh, you took a program, so your anger should be gone. It's like, why is that even part of your vocabulary? It's weird to me. But it's something that we just see in the DOC. They just think like there's this magic pill called a program that should fix everything. And if it doesn't, it's the inmate's fault. It's like, can't be the system that just expects people to change from programs. Anyways, there was a request for this hearing from one of my subscribers. That's why I did it. If you ever want me to do a specific hearing, feel free to email me. I'm happy to do that. I'm happy that I was emailed about this case because it is interesting. And I think it has a lot to do with the modern times of what just happened in Illinois and what's happening all around the world. It's just not making the news all around America. Anyway, thank you, Richard, for the info. And with that,